Okay guys, welcome to the MaPS quick stream. What we're going to be showing you today is how to do speed ramping in Adobe Premiere Pro. And you would have seen this before in videos on YouTube or maybe some ads or something. And what you basically do is, let's go ahead. What I have is I have some footage of a drone flying over a field. Let's get this one here. Just flying like this. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to have the drone come down the top here, flies down, and just when it passes these trees, I'd like it to go slow, right about here when it's curving around. So what I'd like is this spot here to be really fast and then slow suddenly like that. And normally in Premiere Pro, what you would do is, let's say this is the spot I'd like to go slow. I would cut this by going Command or Control K to cut. And then I just right click on this clip here, go speed duration, and let's make, oh sorry, we're gonna make the first one. Right click on the first part, we're going to speed this up. Speed duration, and let's make this 300% and hit enter. And you'll notice it speeds up the clip. You move it back like that, and then when we play it, it goes fast, slow. And that's pretty cool. It works. But what happens is, say I want to speed up from here. I cut here, and then I want to speed up from there and slow down this part. Then I have to individually right-click on each one each time to change the speed duration of that. And that gets really cumbersome. So there's a way to do this in Premiere that I'll show you. Basically, you import your clip, and then you need to right-click on the video up here. And you make sure you're on the video layer here. Right-click, go down the bottom, and hit Show Clip Keyframes, Time, Remapping, and Speed. And you'll see your video disappears, and then you have this new line here. And you'll notice if I click and drag on this line, you see the percentage just down a little bit lower? This is basically the speed of the video that I'm adjusting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this at about 100%. And what I'd like to do is I'm going to find the spot where I'd like it to change from going fast and go slow. So we're going to go down here, all the way around. And let's go about here, kind of like that. So we're at this spot here. What you want to do is go over here, and you'll notice this little button, Add and Remove a Keyframe. You click that, and you get a little teeny tiny gray dot here. So what we've done is we put a marker on this video, a keyframe, which is going to lock that video at that certain spot. Now let's come back to where I'd like the speed to happen. So the speed, let's start the speed about here. Hit another keyframe. So I have one keyframe where I'd like the video to start going really fast all the way through here, and then another keyframe when I want it to go slow about here, like that. Okay, so that's looking good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the speed using this central line for each section. And normally when you drag up a central line like this, it'll affect the whole clip. But what's going to happen is I'm going to go into this middle zone where I'd like it to go fast, and I'm going to drag this up. And you'll notice that the speed rises, so we're at about 200% now, and I let go. There we go. And what's happened there is watch these keyframes as I stretch and slow down this. So what this is doing is it's, of course, the keyframes are a certain distance apart in the video. When you speed up that section, it'll bring the keyframes closer. That, so we'll go up to there. Okay, so now let's play it back, and we're going to watch this little bit here and see if it goes faster. Slow, faster, down to slow. Now, I think that can go faster. So we're already at 200%. Let's keep sliding up. Let's go to about 400%. And you'll notice that when you do that, this little slider disappears up in the top section. That's fine. When you release it, it'll bring it back down here so you can grab it again. Let's play it again. That's pretty good. I think that can even go a little bit faster. So let's drag that up even more. And let's play it back. Now, what I'm thinking is that's working, but I don't like where this spot is where it goes to slow. So let's move these keyframes, and I'm going to move them to about here when it pans out like that. So what I'd like to do is zoom in using my plus and minus. And you can actually drag this keyframe, and I'm going to put it about here. And you'll notice what I've done is it's split the keyframe. So the keyframe actually is two pieces. I'm going to drag this other one back. Double check where we're at. maybe a little bit more to the right, so move this one to the right. You have to do some fine tuning and adjusting. Okay, so now let's see how this looks. I'm going to play that again. Fast and slow like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is this moment here where it goes from slow to fast. You see how it suddenly jumps? And if that sudden jump, it doesn't really feel natural. It feels a little bit fake. So what we're going to do is zoom in on this keyframe, and we're going to split it by clicking the left side and the right side and separating them out, just like that. And what this has done now is we're at about 100%, and I think we're at like 600 or 700% here. So from 100%, it's going to gradually increase the speed over this amount of time. So it's not going to be super jumpy and fast. It's going to have a little bit of a smooth motion to it. So let's watch this again. I'm going to spread these out just a tiny bit more and play that again. I like that. Let's even speed this up a little bit more, about 500%. You see it leads it in. Let's lead it in just a little bit more. And if you click on one of the keyframes here, you'll get this handle. And this adjusts depending on which way you spin it. You see it'll be a straight line, which will be a sudden change in speed. Or what this is going to do is it's going to ramp it up. That's the term speed ramping. Ramp it up to this new speed. This is going to be a lot smoother. It's going to start to slowly change them, really quickly change, then slowly taper off at the new speed. And this is the smoothest way to transition between speeds. So here we go. And so you can do that for each of your keyframes. Let's do this one as well. Click on the keyframe and drag that out like that. I still think that can be even faster. So this is the good thing about speed ramping in this way, is you can adjust your speed at any point of any of the clips. Like that, okay. So now this part here is pretty slow. Drones is flying pretty mellowly. Nothing's happening. So how about I speed up this whole section here? So I can just grab this and drag it up. And it looks like stuff is going terribly wrong over here, but trust it knows what it's doing. So now we're at about 300%. And if I play this back, that's much faster. So what I might do here is when it flies over these trees, I like to give it a bit of a slow pause before it ramps back down like that. So let's put in a keyframe about here. Keyframe, we have a new one. So let's speed up this first part to there. And then by the time we hit this spot, it should go slow and then speed up. So we're going to start with fast, slow, speed up, and slow. Back again, fast, slow, speed up, and slow. So I think this slow part could be even slower. Let's take it down. Yeah. So fast, slow, speed up, and then slow. Now you'll notice that there's a really sharp cut here. That's because our keyframe is a vertical one. So let's spread these out. Click on a keyframe, adjust this so it's a little bit smoother. And play again. I think that's just a little bit too long on the slow side. So let's move our keyframes over. So now the distance isn't as much with this slow part. Let's go play. Slow, fast. Now that's too quick of a slow transition, so I'm going to drag these over. So you can experiment with the distances between your keyframes. Okay, so now let's put in some music behind here. And what I have is, I have this part of the song here, and about here is where the kind of beat comes in. So this spot here. And what I'd like to do is line this spot up with the spot when it just hits down onto the creek going slow. So let's move this over here. Where is that? That's about here. So we're going to just adjust my video till, I'll zoom in a little bit. There's a little marker here. Let's move it about there. Now when I play this back, it should hit that beat just as we go slow. So when you're doing speed ramping with music, there's a lot of rewinding and playing it back and forth just to get it perfect. Oh, I feel like that came in just a little bit early for that slow, so let's move a tiny bit to the right. And you can have a lot of fun. If you enjoy lining video to audio, you can have a lot of fun with this. That looks good to me. So now let's speed up this next bit. And I'm going to use the beat now to show me where I can put a keyframe. There. So I'm tapping along, kind of in my mind, and I hit the space bar right on the beat that I'd like it to change speed at. Right there. Let's put in a keyframe. And then let's ramp this up. We're going to make this fast. See if I line it up with the beat, right? That's pretty good. Okay, so I want to speed this up. And I don't actually mind that sudden keyframe jump there because it's going suddenly into fast. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, so as you saw, we did these keyframe splitting and adjusting the shape here. I'm going to keep that one as a purely vertical one, sudden and sharp. Let's bring this up here. And let's add in a fade out. Here. And then I'll cut my music so it goes here. Cut. So I'm just tidying up everything. Let's move all back to the left and let's have a watch. Oh, I want that fade out to come in just a little bit sooner. Shorten this a little bit. Drag out my fade out. And one more time. There you go. So that's speed ramping. So at any time, if you want to do this, I'm going to show you again how to bring in a clip. Let's say we've got a takeoff clip. Okay, so we've got a drone here, and it just starts to take off. About there. So let's put in some speed ramping keyframes. Again, you just right click on the clip, show clip keyframes, time remapping speed. Let's put in a keyframe, and that's what it's going to start to go slow-mo. Let's speed this first part up. And let's see how that looks. We've got slow there. So this was filmed in slow motion. So if you film in slow motion, you actually can speed it up to be normal speed. Super slow. So because this is filmed in slow motion, we need to speed this up a lot. Keep going until it seems about right. That still needs to be a lot. So let's go up to like 700% and see what this is like. There you go. So you have the shot of the drone taking off. Seems a little bit normal speed, slow-mo there. So if you film in slow motion, that gives you extra frames to work with. Some speed ramping can be really cool. With speed ramping, if you have a clip that's filmed at a normal kind of frame rate, say like 30, slowing it down, you won't have as much room there with the frames because it will look a little bit jittery. So speed ramping is really good if you normally want to speed something up and then return the clip back to the normal speed. Okay guys, that'll do it for the stream. If you have any suggestions for anything you'd like us to cover in one of these quick streams, just send us an email, if that's video or audio or anything like that, or maybe just in Photoshop, and we'll be doing one of these every week, Thursdays, 10 a.m. at the same time. Thanks so much.